Now let's get into these 2023 opponents, shall we? So I did this last season and we're going to do this again. Went out a little bit too far. I won't be able to see it. So we're going to get to how I came up with this. Anybody can come up with this. I talked about this last season. We'll go from the top down. So we're going to go with the division. Of course, everybody plays their divisional opponents 6 times. Once at home, once away. That's pretty simple. Then the next one is you play an entire division within your conference, AFC. This time is the AFC East. We do this every 3 years. There's 4 divisions. So every 3 years we play the full division. How I got the home and away, it's pretty simple. Last time we played this division in 2020, we played the Patriots and Jets away. So they flip-flop it. Next one is the placement one. So you play one team in the other 2 divisions you haven't played. So we get to play one team in the North and one team in the South. And it's based on your record. And we finished 3rd place in our division. So we get to play the 3rd place teams in the other 2 divisions. And that is the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Indianapolis Colts. And the last time this happened in 2020, we played the AFC South team at home and the AFC North team, which was the Cleveland Browns, away. And they flip-flopped that again. So this time we're going to play the North team at home, which is the Pittsburgh Steelers. And we get to play the Indianapolis Colts again. It seems like we play them every year for some reason. It's kind of weird. And then the NFC teams. We play an entire division every 4 years. They have 4 divisions, of course. We rotate those around. Last time we played these guys was the 2019 season. NFC North. Last time we played them in 2019, we played the Packers and the Vikings away. So they just flip-flop it. And then the 17th one, we will play the 3rd place NFC East team this year, and that is the New York Giants. All the AFC teams will be at home against these NFC teams on the 17th game. So that's how we got with it. You can also see the records right here. It's going to be another tough road to hoe here, guys. 10 of 17 teams over 500. 6 games with teams that had double-digit wins. I'm still going to say Denver's going to suck. They gave up too much draft capital. They had a high pick, and now it's Seattle's. Good for Seattle. I'm still not convinced Russell Wilson's there. He's definitely not MVP. The defense is regressing. Of course, the Chargers, they kind of got snake bit this year, let's be honest, with injuries, especially on that offensive line. So there was a little bit of regression in Herbert's play. Wide receivers have been hurt as well. So they're going to be tougher. Of course, the Chiefs, 9 years in a row now, is it? This is ridiculous. Good coaching, got Patrick Mahomes, and they did what they needed to do, and I talked about that in their game preview. They got linebacking core built up. They've got some good pass rushers now. Of course, they rebuilt that offensive line since they got destroyed in that Super Bowl against Tampa. They know what they're doing. We don't. It is what it is. They're going to be a tough nut to crack. And then the AFC East, I don't know, guys. There could be a scenario. Mac Jones sucks. We cut Derek Carr or agreed to trade him to the New England Patriots to go under the dark side with Bill Belichick. That is absolutely possible. There's also been talk, of course, about the Jets I talked about, and also Miami. How long is Tua going to be able to play with all those concussions? And they got a lot of weapons, of course, Tyreek, Jalen Waddle. But of course, we talked about Tampa as well down there in Florida. So we could very well play against Derek Carr this year in another uniform, which would be very intriguing. And then you got Pittsburgh. Some people saying that he could go to Pittsburgh. I don't see that. Kenny Pickett was in there as a rookie. Of course, you're going to take your lumps. I think they're going to stick with him. They still ended up 9-8. And then the Colts, that's another team that could be in the hunt. I honestly think if they do not move up to that number 1 spot with Chicago, they will be a major player in getting Derek Carr, whether we trade him or outright release him and they sign him as a free agent. To me, it almost kind of feels inevitable that we're going to play him this season wherever he lands. And then the North teams, I think the Vikings caught a little bit of fire this year. I think they're going to fall back to earth a little bit. They still got a lot of weapons. What are we going to do about our defensive back situation? We're going to get destroyed. Is Aaron Rodgers going to come back here? I don't know. I hope not. So we can win a game. If he does, we'll probably lose that game. Jordan Love is the joke, in my opinion. Detroit, on the way up, 9-8, guys. If you haven't been paying attention to Detroit, Jared Goff earned that spot. It looked like that trade with all those number 1s, he was going to be like a transitional type quarterback. Not so fast here. He put on big numbers this year. Amon St. Brown at wide receiver, who's going to be a pain in the butt for us. And then Chicago, Justin Fields. To me, they shouldn't have went 3-14. They're a better team than that. This one's going to be in Soldier Field. Again, this could be a cold game. Could be a pain in the butt for us. And then the Giants at home. Danny Dimes kind of redeemed himself a little bit. I was talking about possible landing spot for Derek Carr there. That could still happen. I think it's kind of down the list, though. I see 1, 2, 3. Miami, if 2 isn't done. 4 and 5 spots that Carr could be next season and play against us. And it would not totally surprise me. You know, and then, of course, we have Miami, who's going to be, again, Waddle, Hill. How are we going to stop these guys? Our DBs are terrible. Or is that all going to be fixed this offseason? It wasn't fixed last offseason. Look at my videos last year. I said that was one of our holes. How did that get fixed? It didn't. It didn't. So, and of course, it's going to be in Miami. I talked about that with Jacksonville and the humidity. If we play them in September, our team's going to fizzle out by the third quarter, all humid, and it's god-awful down there anyway, let alone play football for 60 minutes. Of course, Buffalo, that's probably going to be in December. Forget about it. They got Gabe Davis, of course, Stephon Diggs. Again, quarterback league, we have no DBs. We're going to be in trouble just by looking at this. I want to hear what you guys have to say, though. Put it in the comments.
When you have great coaches, then after you have great coaches, you get great players. You have a great organization, and you tell them one thing: just win, baby.